Live, I think. I'm just waiting on Aimee. She's having trouble with her laptop. There, I'm live. That's me. Listening back to myself. That's not weird at all. Yeah, StreamYard is what we use, and sometimes it's finicky if someone has a Mac and they use they have a Mac and they're weird and they use Safari. They have to download Chrome before they can open the link. So we'll wait. We'll wait. If anyone wants to go to Barbell Spin and read one of the articles I wrote while you wait. Hello, Corey. I did back squats before this and did my last set. It was doubles, did my last set. My wife sent me a video. She was doing it as well. Sent me a video. And man, I didn't even come close to hitting depth. That was harsh. Hi, Jonathan. Amy's having difficulty. She doesn't have or didn't have Chrome, and then the link isn't working. But she said she's getting help. Have you ever used Instagram on a laptop? It's really weird. There's so much wasted space. This is like your feed comes up in a little strip like down the center, and everything is just dead space either side. For say on my screen that I'm looking on now, there's I don't know how big the screen is, like 30 inches or something. There's like about 3 inches taken up with like the stuff down the side, home, search, explore, all that stuff is on the side. Then there's a massive gap, about twice that size, massive gap. Then there's a strip with the feed on it. Then there's a little bit with suggestions, probably about an inch and a half. And then there's just massive gap the far side. It's up. I mean, I guess it's for a phone, but still it looks really weird. They should put advertisers or something down the sides. There's just so much wasted space. Oh, it's probably because of the size of the pictures when people upload them. So it has to be like that. Still, they could put something either side. I don't like the barbell spin. I know I do. I just don't like the people that run it. If anyone wants to, article went up today on one of the European teams. Can I do screen share? Can I do screen share? Cinema layout. I've never actually used much of this before. Oh, there's Aimee.
I'm out of breath. I've just been running up the stairs.
How are you?
I'm okay now.
We're live on YouTube now, just so you know.
Hello.
No pressure.
Round.
What was the problem? You didn't have Chrome, was it?
Yeah, I didn't. So I had to get Toby's help. But the house is like 2 stories, so there's quite a few stairs.
Oh, you had to run down and say, "Oh, I need help with this," and then run back up. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I was like, I'm going to get help. I'm not good with technology.
Probably brought back memories of the Burge running up the stairs.
Oh, yeah. I missed that event, Sorry about that light.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, that was a good event.
What was it like when you finished that? I had intended on going straight into CrossFit talk, but now you brought it up.
Yeah.
What was it like finishing that event or finishing any event and having like a camera or having someone ask you questions like directly afterwards? Is it kind of like, it must be difficult to form like fully functioned sentences when someone's asking you something?
I'm not the best with words anyway. So after an event, I'm like, what have I just done? Yeah. So trying to get a sentence together, do quite well if I manage that.
Yeah, because I always feel like I feel sorry for the people. I feel sorry for the people that are asking the questions because obviously they have to do it. But I
Yeah.
also feel sorry for the people answering them who are like, because like say when you just ran up the stairs there, that where someone asks you a question and you're really desperately trying not to breathe heavy or like, have
Yeah, I'm like,
spit coming out of them or
not
whatever.
unfit, I promise.
Yeah, yeah. And you're like not holding your breath, but you're also not breathing normally when you're talking
Yeah.
because you're like, I don't want them to know that I'm out of breath. And then you do that big like at the end when you finish talking.
Yeah.
So there's that. Then there's the fact that your brain has been starved of oxygen for like
I know.
however long the workout was.
I used to go cycling. My ex-boyfriend was a cyclist, and then I used to go out with him, and then I'm there behind, like obviously try not to breathe as hard, but I'm not as good as the cyclist as him. So I've been like like
Yeah.
they watch me breathe kind of thing. But yeah. But after the events, yeah, I never know what to say really, because I'm all just like, oh, need a drink.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's kind of like a lot of the times the questions are like, "Oh, how did you find that event?" And it's like, "Well, fucking hard." Like,
Yeah, hot
it was
and hard,
programmed to be difficult. But
especially in
yeah,
Dubai.
no, and as
It
well,
was so hot.
most of the time when you're being spoken to, it's because you've done well. Like they're not going to grab someone who absolutely bombed and ask them like, like shove a camera in their face, unless it's for one of the documentaries or whatever, and ask them how they got on because it like would be a bit harsh. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to say like, "Oh, everything went really well, and it was exactly how I planned it," and
Mm.
etc. etc. It's not. I guess it's not intended to be in depth or like to be any way deep. I suppose when it's just like 10 seconds after workout.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't, yeah, I'm not great with my words, so I'm like, oh, it went okay.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
always could have gone better. Well,
yeah.
depends. But yeah,
Um, whereabouts in England are you based?
so I'm in Worcester now. At least I can say it right now.
Oh yeah.
I used to be like Worcestershire and stuff.
Is it Worcester?
Yeah, Worcester.
So like Worcester sauce.
I don't know.
Its
People
name
say
is
that.
spelled the same, isn't it? It's spelled like if you were to say it phonetically, it'd be like Worcester, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So it must be the
So
same
maybe.
place. I would never have pronounced it that way. Have you ever seen that meme where it's like three of the hardest things to say are "I'm sorry," "I love you," and Worcestershire.
Oh, really? No, I've
Worcestershire.
not
Yeah,
seen that. Makes
yeah, it's pretty
sense.
funny. Um, so where's that? Is that like my UK geography is shit?
Oh, don't ask me, but I kind of know. So I'm. It's near, like 40 minutes away from Birmingham because I've
Okay,
been there. And
so that's like, is that like Black Country then? Is that what that's called? Like where all my UK geography is based on soccer teams. So is it like it's near like Aston Villa, Birmingham, West Brom, like around there somewhere?
I'm gonna say yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think if that's near Birmingham, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've been
Okay.
to Gymshark from here, which is like it's not actually that far, 35, 40 minutes. But my coach Fraser like has driven me up because I don't have a car here, which
Oh,
I know.
how far are you
So
from your gym?
it's like a 12-minute walk, but it's like a nice walk. So it's just over the bridge and up a
Oh
little
yeah.
path, and you're there. But like
Um.
it's kind of the same when you drive because you've got to go like a one way. So I don't mind walking unless it's
Yeah.
raining. Then
Yeah. I was just gonna say if the weather's
that's
shit,
a problem.
you would mind.
I've got
So
an umbrella now, so it's fine.
he's that's the training plan, isn't it? No,
The
program plan.
team training, yeah.
Team
It's
training.
a lot
Yeah.
of
Team training plan.
training. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. How long have you been with them?
Um, since August, last August,
Okay. Who are you with before then?
I was on the Isle of Man with Dan Bonnet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
So
you moved. Did you move for this to be close to this gym and to train? Is that
yeah,
Blueprint? No,
yeah,
is it? Yeah,
Blueprint.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lovely gym. But yeah, to be closer to the gym and just a change of environment really. So I've been on the Isle of Man like since I was born, so I was like, well, may as well take a little leap.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
that
and
is
close.
that a separate country, Isle of Man?
Um, yeah, I think.
Because it's down. I've always thought of it as just like, I don't know, an island. And then I was looking at your CrossFit.com thing, and it was like
Mm.
second fittest in Isle of Man, and then it was like UK after that. So obviously it was absorbed when they whatever
Yeah,
2017 or whatever, whenever they changed it. But
you
I just
should
thought it was
probably know.
unusual that it was.
It's got its own flag and
Must be then, yeah.
language and stuff. Yeah, I think it is.
Why? What's the language?
Manx.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't ask me if I know any because I don't. But my brother goes to a Manx school.
So
Like
is everything done through it then?
so he can like he's learning Manx. So but I haven't a clue like what things mean.
Do you know any words at all?
Well, I know faster my, I think that's good morning or something.
So is it
Oh,
kind of Welshish? Like,
no.
is it similar to Welsh?
Uh maybe. I've never heard Welsh have
Yeah,
Wales have their own accent. I mean
language. Yeah,
language.
because we
Yeah.
have. So say like Scottish speak. I think it's called Gaelic or something, and we speak Irish. Well, like we speak English,
The
but like
Gaelic.
There's an Irish language, but like the Scottish national language and the Irish national language, there you can see similarities between them, whereas that what you just said does not sound anything like our language. So I assume it's closer to Welsh, because Welsh doesn't really
Oh,
sound too
maybe,
much like
yeah.
ours either. That's mad. I had no idea. So is he going to school to learn that language, or is he going to a school where everything is taught through that language?
He's going to school to learn that language, but
Okay.
he also I don't know whether they learn English as well. But he never speaks in Manx, so I assume I don't know.
What age is he?
He's 11.
Oh wow. Okay. What
Yeah,
age are
so
you?
23.
Okay. And is he your only sibling?
No, I've got an older sister. She's 25.
Wow, 25 down to 11. That's a
Yeah,
significant
yeah, it's a bit
gap.
of an age gap. Um, I'm not as close with him, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Less in
very close
common.
with my sister. Yeah, less in common.
You're not a big fan
No
of
man.
Skeletrics and yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Transformers and stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
Um. Okay. And what are you close to your sister?
yeah, very close. That's like hard thing about being here, I think, because we used to spend like all the time together.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, we still like message and FaceTime a lot, but it's just not the same, is it? But
Does she
I
do
think
CrossFit as well?
she does not.
Okay.
Yeah, she's not. She likes fitness, but not. Yeah, she's not a CrossFit fan, which surprises me because I'm like, I don't know what is to not like. Well,
There's a lot to not like.
there's a lot to not like.
I could write you a
CrossFit, yeah,
substantial list for the rest of this conversation. There you go.
yeah.
Look, the Isle of Man is a self-governing British Crown dependency in the Irish Sea between England and, oh my God, Corey's on Wikipedia. It's known for rugged coastline, rural landscape, rising to a mountainous centre, and also famous for Aimee Cringle. In the capital, Douglas, the Manx Museum trace. Okay, Corey, that's enough. You
Oh,
can just stop.
someone's writing that.
Yeah, there's a
Wow.
chat box, and he's sending in. He's basically copying and pasting Wikipedia.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
so, is there a CrossFit gym on the Isle of Man then?
Yeah, there's the one main one in Braddon. That's where I mainly went, and then there's a few. There's like five.
Okay.
Yeah, people think the Isle of Man's quite small, but
Yeah, that's like, I'm like,
wait,
Jesus. It's
yeah,
impressive that there's two houses on it, so it's obviously big enough.
yeah, yeah. I think it's quite big. But then I've only been there. Well, I've been to more places now,
Yeah.
but to me it seemed big.
And how,
Um,
like, do you know how many people lived in your town?
where I live, probably not so many because it's quite in the countryside.
Okay, right.
I was like half an hour from like the town.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I grew up in the sticks.
And what's your background then? Is it like a farming background then?
We didn't live on a farm, but my mum has quite a lot of land, so I've bounced around the houses since I was young. But I've lived like in the same like lane,
Yeah, yeah.
but just in different houses. And before I moved here, I was back where I grew up first when I was born. So
Okay.
obviously a done up version. So I
So
just lived in.
why was she like a fucking queen or something? Why did she have so many houses and so much land? It's just like she just accrued it over time.
I know, literally. So
Yeah.
I was in this. It's probably hard to explain, but I was in this one house that my mum and dad built, and then I went into my nana's house, then into another house that's like a 2-minute walk away, and then while my mum and dad were building a new house like round the corner, we lived back in my nana's house, and then when that was built, we moved back in there. Then my mum and dad split up, and then me and my sister went into this barn where it's like a converted barn
Yeah, I
now.
was
So
gonna say converted. You left
it
out the
sounds
word
quite
converted.
confusing, but a
Yeah. There's a lot of moving around though.
lot of moving around, but kind of not because I've stayed in the same area for my whole life.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice to like be somewhere different.
What age were you when your parents separated? My parents are separated as well. There's our
Um,
common ground.
yeah, it seems to be quite common now. Like 14.
Oh, okay. So that's a
I
long
think
time ago.
my mum had my brother when I think they split up when he was like 2,
Okay.
3.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
yeah, quite a while ago. But I was sort of used to. I wasn't used to it, but they didn't really get on.
Yeah, yeah. Same.
You know, when you're like, it's gonna come. Yeah.
Yeah. I
My
think yeah, you kind of you know it's coming, but you're like you don't expect it. You still don't like when it happens. You're like, oh shit, okay. It's like all those obvious signs that I've been noticing for the
yeah,
last like 5+ years. I've just kind of pretended that they hadn't happened.
yeah,
Um, okay, and then
yeah.
so your background, what I could see and what I heard from different interviews and stuff that you've done, like you've done a lot of like written bits, like magazine-y kind of bits, most recently, I suppose. Like you've been featured in articles and stuff for different like magazines or whatever. And then you were on Chalking Fitness. That was like about 8 months ago or 9 months ago or something. And then I listened to you on something else as well. Oh, it was like a video for a protein. Was it like fuck, I can't remember the name of it. Some protein company anyway. You did like a video where you talked about yourself. But you were
Oh,
you were talking about gymnastics and that you started gymnastics when you were like 4 or 5 or whatever. Is that like was your family like a sporty family, or did you like kind of find it on your own, or how did you get into gymnastics? Was it just to keep you busy?
gymnastics. So yeah, I started that. You know, just when you're a kid, you just do things for fun. I remember doing little um, what do you call it when you play in all them plastic?
Oh, like I know the indoor fun zone things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I think I like just kept going until I was like 10.
Yeah.
But then I think I quit because I didn't like competing, which is a bit strange. But then I guess when you're 10, you don't really know what you're doing. Then I remember I started athletics, and then I stuck at that for a while. Um, yeah, I love that. I do. Yeah, I guess from when I was young, I've been used to doing some sort of sport. Um, yeah, athletics was the one I did
And
for
what
a
were
while.
you short distance in athletics or mixed or what?
Um, I think when I started it, I was like everything. You know, you do like
Yeah.
15 events.
You rule out the shit stuff as you go. The more you do it, you're like, okay, I'm never
Yeah.
doing that one again. That one's okay.
So I was like, I definitely won't do high jump, um, shot put, or javelin, 'cause that's a lot of coordination in them. Then I think I like the plain track stuff. So like the 800, 200, 100. You can't do 400 when you're like younger. So I think I did that. I could do that. I did that when I was old enough, basically. and I did
Yeah.
that at the Island Games as well.
You did that at which?
The Island Games in Gibraltar.
Right. Oh, is that like the different islands around the
Yeah.
UK? Oh, that's cool.
So that was good, but I wasn't even training that much then because I was mainly doing CrossFit. So I was training, but not like athletics training.
And what age were you then?
This was 2019 or 18.
Wow, okay. So you did athletics up until like reasonably recently then.
Yeah, well, I did stop and then I went back and did this and then I guess stopped again.
Did you go back? Were you like asked back to do it, or did you say like, "Oh, that would
Um,
be cool to do," and decide to do it
yeah,
yourself?
you had to qualify. You had to get the standard of the. So like for long jump, I think I needed to jump like 480 or something, and then I must have done a little
A meet somewhere or something. Yeah.
and got the standards, and yeah, I went. What did I do? I did the long jump, 400 hurdles, 400 relay, and I was supposed to do another event, but I tore my adductor in the long jump, which wasn't ideal.
Where that's like the inside of your hip, kind of the inside of your
Yeah,
groin or something, is it? Yeah.
yeah.
Shit.
So but I didn't know it was that at the time, and I was like, you know, when you're like, what is that pain? But it was like, so I tried to carry on, but I couldn't do the what was it? The 100-meter relay. Yeah, I think it was a bit too sore for that, so I did the hurdles instead.
Oh, so you
But I
did.
was like,
You couldn't do the race you wanted to, but you just did another one anyway.
yeah, because the
Were they
relay,
able to get a sub for the 100 meters?
yeah, I think the long jump was on the Sunday, and my next race wouldn't have been till the
Okay.
Thursday, so I just was like, it's hurting anyway, so I may as well just finish off what I'm starting.
Yeah.
So I somehow got a gold in that, by the way.
You got gold in the injured race.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Everyone else obviously tore their adductor, but did it worse.
Yeah, yeah, and we won the relay. I mean, I was taped up with the
Yeah, yeah.
kinesio tape, but still, after I was like,
Yeah,
out.
geez, that's impressive. Yeah, because hurdles are, like when you see it on TV and when you see it from a distance, you're always like, yeah, look, that's cool, like, and then when you actually see how high a hurdle is when you're standing next to it, you're like, it's actually pretty fucking impressive
Yeah,
that people can run like full force at something and
I
like just
mean,
glide across it. I'd be like
I
stopping
don't know if
and
I was
throwing my
gliding.
leg over.
I was doing that, when you stutter. I
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
I was just like that for the whole way around because I hadn't like trained for it much. I think the reason for me stopping doing athletics was I just kept getting shin splints.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I did a bit of strength and conditioning when I was doing it, and then because that was in the same CrossFit building, I was like, "Oh, what's that?" I remember doing a CrossFit class. Well, I did some kids ones before, but these were the adults ones, and I was like, "I like this."
You did kids CrossFit?
Well, teen
Okay.
style stuff, yeah.
How did
It's
you
like,
want? Was that just because it was in the same building as well?
yeah. Yeah, so yeah, my parents didn't have anything to do with this really. So I my friend Sean from the Isle of Man, I think I was on the way to my friend's house. We were on the bus and he worked at the CrossFit and he was like, I was like, where are you going? And he's like, CrossFit. And I was like, what's that? But anything to do with like jumping and swinging on things, I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. So yeah, I went on the following Sunday on the bus. I took me and my two friends, Amy and Amy, went as well. But they don't
You've
do it
you've
anymore.
two friends called Aimee as well.
Yeah,
So three
actually, no,
Amies.
three. Yeah, there was 8 of us in my in what do you call it? High school in the same
Wow.
year. Yeah, there was a
And
lot.
do you spell your name Aimee? Is that how it's spelled like on your birth cert, or did you spell it that way yourself?
It's how it was spelt. Yeah,
Okay.
well, how Mum spelt it.
Yeah, yeah, okay. And were the other two AMY?
Yeah, everyone else was AMY. But I
That's
didn't used to be a fan of it, but now I'm like, oh, it's a bit different.
did you get much shit for your surname? Like was there much like the way kids are dickheads when it comes to people, as if they pick their name. They like always come up with words that like we were picking a name for our daughter and my wife was like, we can't pick anything that rhymes with anything. So you can't pick something that can be turned into an insult, like in the playground. She was like,
Yeah, I know.
her surname is White already, so she's fucked anyway that way because everyone's just gonna call her Shite or whatever. So we need to figure out a first name that can't be turned into something she can be mocked over. So that was one of the criterion for our name, and I was like, right, we picked Sloan. That's what we decided to call her. And I was like, oh yes, perfect. And there's nothing. I can't think of anything like Sloan. Like there's nothing that rhymes with it. There's no insult that it doesn't sound like any insult or a swear word or anything. And then one day, about 6 months ago, Sloan was sitting at the kitchen table and I walked in and I was like, oh, what are you I said, what are you doing, Sloaner the Loner? And Orla from like my wife from the other room was like, no. She was like, you're after coming up with an insult for her based on nothing.
And you're the one doing it.
Yeah. So did you, because like I always come up with stupid names for the episodes. And I was like,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
with,
Do you make
with
them?
yeah. But with Kringle, I was like, oh, there's a lot of like Christmassy based.
Well, Will from team training, like one of the coaches, he always calls me Christmas Kringle, and I'm like, where are you getting that from? But it's Christmassy, isn't it?
Yeah. I like there is a I think Chris Kringle is like some fucking Scandinavian name for Santa or something.
So yeah, he always
Yeah.
calls me Christmas. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, because I had like Kringle all the way, and then I was like, oh, is it too? I was like, it's low hanging fruit. I was like, is it too easy? Maybe I should like work a bit harder. Um,
So what have
yeah,
you
no,
done it as?
I think I think I did like Ready Amy Fire, I think, or something like that.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, some of my friends, yeah, when I was on the Isle of Man from CrossFit, they just called me Krings, or
yeah.
because I'm obsessed with granola, I got Kringola.
Oh
I
yeah,
like that
okay.
one.
Were you popular in school?
um, I think I just float around and friends with sort of anyone.
Hmm.
But yeah, I had my Amy's. But yeah, I love school.
It's
I'm Amy's, yeah.
it's like a really shit gang. It's like
It's good because
just three people with the same name.
we're all best friends now as well, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
nice.
that's cool.
I mean, they're still no. One of them's on the Isle of Man, one's in Manchester.
Okay.
But yeah, it's nice how we like all of our friendship group. We're still friends now. We went on like a girls' holiday. When was it? What are we in now? In October to
Okay.
Tenerife. So that was nice.
That's nice. Were you in Bali recently?
Yeah.
You were there for a long
Only
time, were
two
you?
places.
Were you in
Um,
Bali for a long time?
for like 4 weeks.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Mm,
that's a extended period.
it
Um,
was a while.
was that just like heat? Was that what you were after there?
Um, well, team training, the training team I'm on with now. Yeah, too many words. They had a retreat out there,
Okay.
uh, like at the end of the 4 weeks. So me and Fraser just went out a bit earlier to do some. So I had the Fraser who coaches me now, the Wadapalooza qualifiers and the Dubai ones. I was like, I may as well have a go at them.
While you
They
were
look,
out there.
yeah. So it was very
Okay.
hot, and I redid most of them, I think. So I ended up doing, I don't know, 13 or 14 workouts, and it was like you have to like go all out as well, don't you? So I was like,
Yeah.
oh
Some
my
of the
god.
Dubai ones are awful as well. It was like there
Mm,
was a lot of burpees and yeah, there wasn't.
yeah, I think it was quite. I can't remember them all now, but yeah, it was hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of
Um,
like box jumps. I remember the Dubai one was it had like toes to bar box jumps and overhead squats in, and we
yeah.
did like 100 box jumps. My ankles.
Wasn't there something with was it max burpees in remaining time or there was something like that? I remember Taylor saying that she did it and had to redo it twice because Reggie fucked up the camera twice. He
That
like
was
didn't hit record once, and then the second time like the camera died or the phone died or something. But yeah, there was a lot of A
Yeah.
lot of burpees in that. Where were you based when you were in Bali?
What
Was it Wanderlust?
do you call it? At the gym. Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
oh my god, what's his
Dave.
name?
Dave.
Yeah, Cara
Yeah.
Saunders, the Saunders' friend. Is that
Yeah.
him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's
Yeah.
that
So
like?
pardon. What's the gym
What's the
like?
gym like? Yeah.
Oh, it's massive.
Is
It's
it
like as
nice?
big as it
Like,
seems on Instagram and stuff. Yeah, it's nice.
yeah,
So
because
like,
you know, like when somewhere seems really good
yeah,
online,
yeah.
you're
You
like,
could
oh, I wonder are they all dickheads? I wonder is it
you could
like
live there.
awful to go
Yeah.
to?
Yeah. Because you train and then go to the cafe and get your smoothie bowls and stuff, and
Yeah,
then do some work if you need to, and then go to the pool area, sunbathe and swim, and just get looked after. So yeah, it's the life out there.
that's cool.
Mm,
Do you work? Do you coach or what do you do?
I do not.
You
I've
don't.
I've always said I just can't. I think I'm just meant to be told what to do.
Yeah,
I was trying to explain to Zach the other day as a joke how to do a snatch, and I was like, I don't even know where to start.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
like yeah,
I
but
was like,
sometimes it's like that curse and knowledge thing where you know, like if I went to you and said, "Oh, like teach me how to do a snatch," and like your response would be like, "You just hold on to the bar and you do a snatch." You know,
yeah.
like it's like where
And
you
he said,
know it's so ingrained that it's difficult. Some people just don't have it in them to get it from the motor skill to
I
verbalize
don't
it
have that.
to explain it. Yeah,
I was with Ross Edgley the other week, and we're in Gymshark. And sorry, can you hear my laptop?
yeah, it's all right though.
I don't have to turn that off. Um, and I think we were doing handstands, and he was like, "Ames, teach me," and I was like, "Right, I'll try." And then I'm like, "Okay, kick up," and then
You're like, just do a
and then
handstand.
he's picked up, and then I'm like, "Okay, walk." Then he's just like toppling over. I'm like, "Well, we'll have another go another time."
Yeah.
'Cause
Let's circle back. We'll circle back to this one.
yeah,
That's funny.
what's
Yeah.
going off? You
I don't know. I don't know how you do it without just muting everything. That's the problem I have.
yeah. Okay, I'll have to
It's so rare. It's only happened like twice, so don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Um, and okay, so who was everybody from um team training program or yes program? Yeah,
yeah.
was everybody from team training program in Bali all together? Then was it like one house or how did that work?
We were in a yeah. People could like sign up to it, and we were in a really nice hotel in where was it?
Bali.
Canggu
I'll take your word for it. Near Wanderlust.
in Bali somewhere
Yeah.
by the sea. Oh, what was the hotel called? It was really nice. Anyway, I'll try and remember the
They'll never
name.
give you a free room now when you haven't mentioned the name.
What was it called? I can probably find it.
I'm
I
not
might
that
take
fussed.
that.
I mean I am there's
Yeah.
literally no chance of me ever going to Bali. So we'll you can tell me
Have
the
you ever
name is
been?
whatever you
No.
want. No. I've missed my chance. I've got 2 kids now, so that ship has sailed.
How old are your kids?
3 and 1.
Oh,
Yeah. So in another 15 years for the oldest and 17 years for the youngest, I'll be able to be like, let's go on holiday somewhere totally random that like
yeah.
costs money, Although then they'll be in college and I'll be fucked in a whole new way. So and who went? So was it say the so Will Kane is with them, isn't he? Isn't he with
Yes.
he owns Blueprint, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Okay,
With Fraser and some of the AOD boys.
okay, and yeah, and Fraser, he's like the head of the training
Yeah.
team training plan
Yeah.
here program. He's like the head honcho or
Mhm.
one of the lead guys. And then is Zach George? Are they doing a team? The team training program are doing a team, aren't they?
Yeah. So it's Will, Zach, Nicole, and
Nicole is Crouchy, isn't she?
yeah,
Yeah.
Nicole and what's her name?
Oh my god, I can't remember her name, and I can picture her, and she's slightly shorter than
Yeah.
Crouchy.
I was with
And
her the other day.
I can't remember. I can look it up. Okay, because Zach George doing a team
Yeah.
is not. It's unexpected, isn't it? Like that would be a bit of a shock. I would have thought because he did. I guess maybe the pressure of another year. Janie Garrett.
That's it. Yeah.
And maybe the pressure of it. God, he's ripped, isn't he, Zach? Fucking hell, he's
Yeah.
ripped.
Oh,
My
he's got
God.
his baby soon, doesn't he? That's
Of
exciting.
course, yeah, that's probably
Mm.
why. Look how big he is. Crazy.
Oh, that's gonna be so
Um,
cute.
yeah, I forgot about the baby. Okay, yeah, it makes total sense now. I forgot about that. And are they doing that kind of that new CrossFit team thing where they're going to come to you guys every so often? So obviously the next 3 weekends, I guess they'll be there. Well,
Oh
from
yeah,
next week.
amazing. Yeah, because you can do it from anywhere now, can't
Yeah,
you?
can kind of I think you just have to do the open workouts together in the affiliate that you're registered with.
Okay. All right.
But then you can come and go as you please in between.
Okay.
Okay, so that's interesting. And then he wasn't with them before, was he, Zach? Has he been with the
No,
team
no,
training?
I don't know if he is, but he's on the team with them.
Yeah, yeah. So he wasn't in Bali, like, is what I'm driving at.
No, no. Um, no, he wasn't. It was more. So I was with Will, Fraser, Georgia, Craig, and Jazz. And
Oh,
then
that's
whoever,
Hustle. There, that's Hustle.
yeah,
Craig Ritchie. Okay, yeah, yeah.
and whoever wanted to join.
All
Um,
like what would you call them? Like Gen Pop members of
mm,
the programming. Okay, yeah, that's cool.
yeah, but
Um,
before that, I flew from Madrid. I was like a bit of like all over the place, really, because I came here in August, and then I did the European Championships, and then I came back to the Alman for my nana's funeral. Then the following Friday, me and my sister were in Italy for a wedding. Then I was back for like a day. Then I went to Madrid. Then I went to Bali. Then I went. Where did I go? Though, and then I went to Tenerife with my friends. But then I was like, oh, if I make Dubai, I shouldn't go to Tenerife. But there was a CrossFit gym nearby, 10-minute walk. So I was like, okay, be fine. I ended up qualifying for Dubai, which I didn't really expect. And then Dubai, then
then
I think
Wadapalooza the end of the
that's it.
month.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So a hectic,
No,
not a calm off season, I guess you'd say.
no, I guess I didn't plan to
When
do
you
that.
so when you move, like, so obviously you had a different coach up until August, and then
Mm.
you move, you get a new coach, you move. Like, what are the conversations like at the start there? Like, do you say, okay, I want to join your training program, I want to be coached by you, and are they like, okay, yeah, let's just do whatever the fuck this first year, or are they like, hang on, you're not doing this qualifier and this one and this one, or are they like, yeah, we want you to do as much as you can this year so we can see what you're like? Or is it more fluid than that? Was it more like kind of, oh, I've qualified for Dubai, oh, go and do it, it'd be silly not to do it, like that kind of way?
Yeah, because I'd never done Dubai. And I wanted to do, I was actually going to do Wadapalooza in a team, but the team wasn't like, we're definitely going to do it. So I was like, I'll do the individual ones anyway, just in case.
Yeah.
And I did Dubai anyway. I was like, I'll just see where I'm at. But I actually qualified for them both in the end. I literally just scraped him with the Wadapalooza as well. Like, I think I was actually like, not, I didn't actually qualify, but
Oh,
people didn't.
someone, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm in. And
And
then I was
how many people were in? Was it 30 in what it was?
40, I
40,
think.
okay. And where you finished 17th?
Yeah.
That was a big jump then from technically not qualifying. From being
Yeah.
40
True.
plus to finishing 17th. That's
Yeah.
decent jump.
Those workouts are quite hard. I mean, the
The in person
warm-ups
ones or the
are quite hard.
qualifiers?
Well, both, but in person, like I keep going on about these rings. Did you
Oh,
see
with the
them?
chains and the long
Yeah.
straps. Yeah, yeah.
I guess I'm just used to like smaller ones.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah,
Like I get what they were going for, and I get the visual, like, but
I
they
don't.
could have just made the rig the rig shorter. Yeah, no, it was excessive, and then the wind and everything as well. Did you see that guy got hit in the head with the chain?
No, I didn't see, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he
Same.
and like in fairness, he powered through. He kept going, but it
Yeah,
fucking hell, it was rough.
I was nervous for that event anyway because ring muscle ups aren't my thing.
Yeah,
And then they were like 50 meters long, so I was like, that's good then.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Whatever,
overhead.
however much you struggled with them before, it's definitely not going to improve with more
Yeah,
of
so
a.
and then going out there, being like the first event with like a field full of good girls, I'm like, right, I'll just try my best.
Yeah.
And I was actually worried for the overhead squats, but I only did half the workout, so that was all right.
Do you get like obviously you've got a very big following on Instagram. Like say relative, like when you compare your Instagram following to, I don't mean this as an insult in any way, but when you compare your Instagram following to your like competitive success, like it's probably you have more of a following than some people who might like on paper be more successful than you in the sport will say. Like
Mm.
you're very popular on social media and stuff. And when you go out on at an event, is it like do you like because then do you feel the pressure of both? Like do you feel the pressure of like, oh, I need to perform because I'm in a competitive environment and these girls are my competition and I'm comparing myself to them, and then also, oh, I need to perform because there's whatever, like, 150,000 people follow me and think that I'm good at sport and that's why they follow me and
Yeah,
I need to keep up that image or whatever.
that is scary, knowing like, oh, these people maybe are expecting like something here. Like, especially that first one, I was like, I'm in this elite competition and I can't even do a ring muscle up. But I was like, okay, it's one event. And then I just like forgot about that and
Hmm.
like started fresh after that one. I mean, it wasn't, no, it was quite bad. And then like the next one, I won my heat. So I was like, okay, I can do CrossFit. Because after that, I was like, am I okay?
And do you verbalize that? Do you talk about that out loud? Like, do you say that to anyone out loud? Like after that after the ring event, are you like, what am I doing? Or is that all internal, or do you say it to people?
I'll say it to people, but I try just not. I wasn't like upset or anything. I was just
Pissed off, kind of.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if it was, I guess if it was like the shorter straps in the main arena, maybe it would have just been a different workout where the wind wasn't blowing them around and I could actually, because they were so bouncy as well. But then like it's the same for everyone. So I'm
Yeah.
just,
What was that, an AMRAP or was it for time? I can't remember.
what was it? It was like 15 muscle ups, 21 back squats,
Oh yeah, yeah.
12
And then
muscle ups.
front squats and overhead squats, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Um, okay, yeah. Because I was gonna say, like, it's like it brings back those kind of vibes of, like where you're doing an open workout and everyone else is finished and you're not finished, and like, everyone's kind and you're. How does that kind of stuff sit with you? Like, if someone's like, if you see someone walking back down the floor to cheer you on in a workout or like at an event, are you like fuck off, or are you like, yeah, this is the
yeah.
fuel I need to keep going?
This happened in Dubai because so ring muscle ups and barbell cycling with the snatch are just like my, when they come up, you're like, ah,
Yeah,
okay. But I'm trying to work on it. So yeah, that I was like last on the floor in Dubai, but I was like, it's fine. I've got like someone's got to be last, and
yeah,
I guess you've got to be exposed, and I guess I'm learning. Like it doesn't matter really.
yeah.
Yeah, and just to, I guess, not care what people think.
Did anyone walk back?
Walk back, like
Like
to
when you were finishing off your barbell in Dubai.
shout at me
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. To encourage
Yeah,
you.
so that was nice, and I didn't
Okay.
fail any snatches.
Do you like that? Do you like when like
I think so. I think it helps, I guess, rather than people just like
standing,
sit. Yeah,
packing up their gear bag and putting
yeah.
on their other shoes
I
or
think
taking off
I
the knee
would
sleeves?
like like go and help. Well, because you can't
Yeah.
help, but you can.
I think I do it. I think like it isn't. literally never going to be anything I ever have to consider being on a competition floor and being finished in time to cheer anyone else on. But I think I would do it. I don't think I'd have the balls to do it as um as big as like say Noah and Cole Sager, you know, like that big like show of like getting everyone. I don't think I'd have the charisma required to do that. I think I'd encourage the person, but I downplay the fact that I just be, you know, it'd be like, yeah, come on. You know,
Yeah,
like I don't think I'd be like, you know, like cheering, like getting everyone
yeah.
going. I don't think I have that like showmanship in me to pull
Well,
that off.
even when we're in the gym, I'm like, I want to cheer people on, but I just can't be heard. Just my voice just can't go loud.
Yeah.
So I'm
Probably
just like,
another reason why coaching maybe
isn't for
wouldn't.
me.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
did, yeah, I did nurse though. Well, I haven't actually done a shift yet.
Did you qualify? Because I saw that you were doing that. Was it the last open you were still in university?
Um, was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I did qualify in the end. Long
And
story.
you've just parked it for a while.
Put it on hold for a bit.
And what kind of is that just general nursing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I do miss it a bit. My last placement was in the community and I really enjoyed that. So I remember I did apply for a job, but then I came over to the UK. I think it was like for the turf games and stuff. And I was just here for a week and I never and yeah, and I met my agent and we just talked a bit about it and we were like, I might as well just give this a go while I can.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
probably the kind of opportunity that doesn't come around.
yeah, and I do really enjoy it, and I guess why not? I guess you can nurse like
Yeah, I mean
almost 30 years.
you can.
Yeah,
You can.
you
But
can.
like I mean you retire most people retire from nursing when they're like 65 heading
Mm,
for 70. Most people retire from, you know, being a professional CrossFitter when they're like 30 heading for 35. So, you know, you might as well if you're gonna do both, you might as well go all in on one and then go all in
yeah,
on the other
yeah.
one afterwards. Yeah. And that, like, are you ever? Because I know you mentioned Gymshark at the start there, and you're a Gymshark athlete, you're an Occo athlete. You mentioned the turf games, and you've been, you know, you've traveled around a good bit, for those events, and for, you know, you mentioned Dubai there and Bali and all these different kind of things. Like, are you ever like surprised at the opportunities that come your way through basically working out and like being fast and strong at working out? Like, are you ever kind of like, oh, this is weird that I'm getting this opportunity to do this thing because I'm like lifting a barbell faster or heavier than that other girl or whatever.
With sponsors, do you mean?
Yeah, even just the opportunities that you get. Like, you know, like it's I always just think athletes must sometimes just think like this is weird. There must be a period of time where everything feels really weird and then it just becomes normal where it's like, oh yeah, this is totally normal. But there must be a period at the start where you're like, this is odd that I'm being paid
Yeah,
to go to this thing and like just
yeah.
stand there or whatever.
Like going to Gymshark just alone, I'm like, wow. Just the building just is amazing. And then never mind just being one of the athletes. And getting to train with some of their other athletes. Like I'm good friends with Ross now, Ross Edgley, and some of the stuff he does, I'm like, how do you even do that?
Yeah.
And then getting to train a bit with him, I'm like, this is cool. Um, but yeah, and
Were you surprised when you got that call like that, or when that offer, when that like idea was
mm,
floated? Were
yeah,
you surprised by that?
because I'm like, me, really?
Yeah,
What? Yeah, yeah, I love it. Like, I could live in that stuff 24/7.
yeah. That's probably it's good to
Mm,
not be like, oh, their stuff is shit, but they're paying me a good bit, so it's great. You know, it's good to
yeah,
have the balance of like, oh, I actually probably would buy their stuff anyway.
yeah, I
Um,
love it.
and are you? Is it like?
Oh, and sorry, the Knocko with Knocko, like doing events like the turf games and stuff. That's fun, and I did
Is
Sid
strength
the
and
other
depth?
week.
Yeah, that was because it was like PD was on there, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
So
cool.
doing events like that is always really fun. the
And
brands and stuff.
would you classify yourself as a confident person?
Definitely not you. I didn't used to be.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm getting a bit better, but I still am a bit. I do doubt myself a lot.
In like what aspect? Do you mean like ability wise or like
Not
is it
as
like
bad.
that? Is it
Just
that like imposter thing? You know, like some people
mm,
like say coming on this now. I know some people I ask some people to come on this and they're like, oh sure, no one will want to listen to
yeah, a bit. I'm like, do you want to listen
yeah,
to me? But I guess maybe they do.
yeah.
But then going into this, I'm like, just have confidence. It's fine.
Yeah. Well I like the thing I always remember is that like um even if it's a train wreck, even if you absolutely fucking ruin something like this, everyone will have forgotten about it by Friday. Do you know, like
Yeah,
it's kind of like it's one of those things where, like, okay, different for me. Like if you're a train wreck on this, I'll suffer for a while because, but like
hope
it'll
I
be
wasn't.
yeah, my confidence will suffer. I've had a few of those where like the guest like just suffers or doesn't want to
Oh,
be there or
really?
whatever, and then like for weeks afterwards, I'm like, oh god, am I shit at this? Is that what happened? Is that why that
No,
happened?
you're really
Um,
good. I've enjoyed my time in here.
so far. It's all downhill from here. Um, there was other things then. So last year, then, if you were, is this? So would you consider this year you're like all in then? Like, would you have considered yourself all in on CrossFit before?
Before
Say like
when
before, like say this coming season now.
was that? So last year,
Yeah. So like London
uh,
Strength and Death, were you all in for that entire season? Do you think?
there was a lot of areas I could have like fixed, like my sleep, my diet,
Okay.
um, e.g., not eating as much cereal in the day, um,
It's called
just
carb loading. You
recovering
just
a
call
bit.
it carb loading, and then it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Um,
um,
so are you saying that you're fixing those things this year then? Is that like a focus?
Trying.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
eating 2 boxes of cereal instead of
yeah.
3. Yeah,
Instead of 5.
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah,
what are you doing for those kind of things? Like say when you say improving your sleep, is that just like having a routine or are you doing things differently? Are you taking supplements? Are you changing your, bed or whatever?
yeah. So trying to, because I don't need to get up like dead early, but I guess it's just nice to have like certain time to go to bed and
Yeah.
certain time to wake up. Um, just like, okay, don't go on my phone past say 9:30.
Yeah, I
Like,
was going
no.
you I feel like you were going to say a time there and then you were like, "Oh, that's not even close to what time I stop at." You were going to say like, "Don't go on my phone past, 4:30 p.m." and then like, just come up with some ridiculous routine that nobody would ever be able to
Yeah.
follow. Yeah, I start my wind down at 5 p.m. and then by the time 6:30 comes around, I'm in bed asleep. Do you watch like Love Island or anything?
Um, is it on at the minute?
Yeah, so obviously you don't. There's a
No.
second series. There's like
I,
a South African one, and my wife is watching it. And
well, I have been. Sorry.
whatever chance we had of a bedtime routine of like, okay, we're going to bed at this time,
Yeah, yeah. When you
can't.
start watching something, it just goes out the window,
And
doesn't
that
it?
lasts for fucking weeks as well. It's like I don't know. Every time it's on, I'm like, I'm always. So this like 2 weeks, and then every year it's like, no, it's like 5. It's like it's long. It's
Yeah.
long.
So when I was back at home on the Isle of Man, I never used to watch telly or anything because it was so cold in our house. So I just get back and eat and probably go get into bed with like 10 hot water bottles.
And 2 bowls of
Um,
cereal.
yeah. But now the house is a little warmer and we we don't have a dinner table, so we sit like in our lounge, I guess, and have the telly on. So me and Toby, who I live with, will stick some CrossFit related things on, and I guess I'll watch more TV. Um,
Do you consume CrossFit outside of like training and stuff? Do you like watch?
We do a bit. Well, I've only sort of started because Toby like has it on. I'm like, oh, like just like any of the YouTube videos really. I'm like, oh, I didn't know this existed or this.
Yeah.
So yeah. And we'll just stick it on and just do bits. Like
I
get
kind of wonder, is it a guy girl thing? Maybe I'm being sexist, but I kind of wonder, are guys more into consuming CrossFit related content than girls are, just in general? Like this kind of stuff. I just can't.
this
Maybe
kind of
I'm
stuff.
totally wrong, but I just can't picture a girl sitting down to watch a podcast the same way. Maybe I'm just basing everything off
Yeah,
my wife that I would and she wouldn't, and maybe I'm just basing it off that. That's my only exposure to it, so I'm just basing it off her.
maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
And so is Toby? What's Toby's surname?
Buckland.
Buckland. I was going to say Buckland.
Yeah.
He's an athlete as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's training at the Blueprint as well.
So you've got that good. I can't do that because he lives here and he'll tell everyone that I did it. Like I can't eat that second box of cereal because he'll
Maybe,
snitch on me.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll go around in the gym.
Yeah, you've got that accountability. He'll be like, I found 3 empty boxes of Cocoa Pops in the
Yeah.
bin.
We did have Beth here as well, Beth Layton,
Okay.
but she actually left today to go home,
Okay.
so I'm quite sad. Yeah, I think she just wants a different route in life, rather than CrossFit.
Yeah, yeah. Are you in a relationship?
No.
Okay. Have you you said you had an ex-boyfriend? How long ago was that? The cyclist.
This was about what month? I keep losing track of the months. Like 2 years ago.
Okay. So I'd say
It
it's
was
kind of
1.5
hard if you're at the level that you're at. It's probably hard to have not hard to have a relationship, but it's probably a lot more work maybe to have a relationship unless they're also
Yeah.
doing CrossFit and have unless there's I just feel like someone who does CrossFit full time dating like a nurse would be difficult because it'd be a lack of understanding of. But it's just going to the gym, whereas like if two people do CrossFit, it's kind of easier to understand. I guess you can be more empathetic towards sore legs and no energy and stuff.
Yeah. So he does like I keep in touch with him now and then. He does triathlon. So like that I guess worked because he understood like what
You used
like
to do triathlons as well, didn't you?
I did 1 or 2. I
Was that
wouldn't.
just like recreationally?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I do like them actually. It's just the swimming part. I'm like, oh, but the running.
How did you find swimming in Miami?
I think that event actually went the best for me. But it was the double unders that got me. Like my calves they're still a bit fragile from them.
From those double.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. I don't think my feet were used to the
Oh, because they were barefoot,
pumping.
weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
mean, I probably could have brought my shoes, but then me probably couldn't have got them on with
Yeah.
wet feet and stuff like that. So I was like, just get a grip, Aimee, and just jump.
Yeah. So then for this year, you've got Berlin. I guess that's your primary focus is to get to Berlin.
Yeah. So
And then
everyone's there now, aren't they? Rather than it being split.
yeah, and going off, I was watching the Barbell Spin did live yesterday, and I caught up on it today, and they were kind of going through the strength of field. So CrossFit put out their strength of field thing, and they put out their strength of field article, and then deleted it like an hour later. But like Brian and other people screenshotted it cleverly. So they're using a method that I can't remember the name of, and apparently it's what we use for voting in Ireland. Like Mike Halpin messaged me saying, do you know what this is? And I said, no, I've never heard of that. And he was like, apparently it's what you use in the Irish Parliament for voting. And I was like, never heard of it before in my life. but it's some kind of distribution method anyway, basically for, you know, the way they're doing the places are going to change every year. Here we go. Daunt. D apostrophe H-O-N-D-T. But yeah, it's like, so you know the way there it's this strength of field thing. So they're saying if Europe does really well for
Oh,
2 years, we'll get more
yes.
places and so
Yeah.
on. But they did like a mock up. So Mike Halpin did like a mock up of based off their current metric that CrossFit are saying they're going to use, but they've now deleted the article. So they reckon that Europe will have 11 spots for girls and 11 spots for guys. So one extra compared to last year, I guess. Is that right? There was 5 and 5, so there'd be
Mm,
like 11 this time.
more would be
So
nice, but
yeah, 30.
yeah,
Um,
it's such a tough field, isn't it?
it is ridiculous though, and
Yeah.
you see, I think the kind of thing is like that. You look at it's kind of similar to Wadapalooza, you know, like when the teams are being announced or when the individuals are being announced, and every time a name came up, you were like, well, they'll obviously win it, and then the next one will come
Yeah.
out, and you'd be like, oh, well, they'll obviously win it. It's kind of like that when you look at Europe, and you look, especially on the female side, you look through the list, and you're like, pick pick 5 that won't qualify. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
hard to like there's you can say like, okay, I'm gonna pick the ones that are nailed in. You know, like you
Mm.
can kind of you
But
like
there's like so many of them, isn't there?
yeah, like you go like, okay, Laura, like shoe in,
Yeah.
Emma McQuaid, shoe in, Jacqueline Dawson, shoe in. But then you kind of get to people who are like, oh, surely they'll qualify. And then by the time you're
Mm.
finished saying surely they'll qualify, you're already at like 15. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
like it really is gonna come down to someone just fucking something up or someone, you know,
Mm.
like just having an off day or something could, you know, open a door for someone else. Like when you look at that, when you think of, say, your last season, the off season that you've had, how you feel now, how your coaching is going and stuff, with your new group and stuff. Like, is your aim for the year, okay, I want to get to Berlin? Or is it is it possible to think beyond that? Like, is it possible to think, oh, I'd love to go to like obviously I'd love to go to Madison is easy to say, but is it possible to say like I actually have a chance to go this year? Or do you think is it too soon? Is it right? Like, is it, you know, are you able to think that far ahead?
Um, it would be a dream, but I know I've still got a lot to work on. Like, I guess last year, like I won one event, but then I came like 23rd, I think was my lowest in another, which was like, I think that was the legless rope climb one.
Mm.
So I guess like half of me can do it, and then there's another
Yeah,
half of me that
you
still has.
kind of can't afford a swing like
And I
that,
think
really.
with the like semi-finals, there's always going to be. It's just like my three, I guess, weaknesses are like ring muscle ups, snatching, and sometimes rope climbs. Um, but I've been trying to work on them. So whether what comes up will be enough, we'll have to see. But I guess I was like looking with my coach the other day, and like I had like a few like had like a first and like an eighth and a sixth or something, and like 14th in the lift, and then yeah, just that like 20 something and 23rd. And it's like, if they weren't there,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. But then with the bigger, with more people, maybe
yeah.
I don't know. I don't really get how the boards work, but yeah, I guess yeah, it depends on the events as well.
I suppose the thing is, with more people, you could have some freak that like is crazy good on a barbell, and that'll
Mm,
cost you more on an event. You know what I mean? Like if there's
yeah,
whatever 60 people, and you have someone that's like just a monster on a bar
yeah,
who could bomb everything else but come top 5 in that event, that'll have an impact on people like you who are like, oh, if I can finish top 12 in this, it'll be great. But then because of
mm,
that person, you're pushed down one spot. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But then the flip side of that is you could have a lot of people who are also good at the event that you're good at and worse than you at the events that you aren't as confident at. And then the swing will be less for your bad
mm,
event and more for your good event. Like you'd have
yeah,
more people between you. Like basically, if you can finish ahead of, say, 5 of the top 10 in your really good events, it's more beneficial
mm,
having more people in your field because they might separate you further from those other
Yeah.
top five. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's tricky. Like it's hard. It's hard when it's 11, and it's hard when it's the whole field. Like
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, it is tricky. But I guess the thing is that, like, apart from maybe the west coast of America, I think every region is saying, well, maybe probably Asia and South Africa, or Asia and Africa as well, probably don't come into it really. But like, I think every region is saying, like, we deserve more spots. Like, we
Mm.
deserve, like, I'm sure if you were based in Australia, you'd be like, this is fucking ridiculous that we, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's hard for every region, I think. And I suppose people don't want a repeat of 2019 where just everyone who can spell CrossFit got to go to the CrossFit games. Do you know, like that?
Yeah.
It's, you need to have some kind of separation, I guess.
Yeah. I guess just obviously try my best, and hopefully working on these will pay off. But if not this year, then I will keep trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you got are you just kind of going along and seeing where you can go and stuff, or have you got like okay, if my professional CrossFit career will end at 29 or whatever, have you got that kind of a plan, or are you just kind of taking it year by
No,
year?
just seeing how it goes.
Yeah.
I haven't really ended on a date.
But it's kind of changing, where I think before, or even now, I guess a little bit, there's kind of a thing of like, if you qualify for the CrossFit Games and finish, like top 10, you're made. Like, if you can do that, through the sponsorships, the earning potential, all that kind of stuff, like, it's going to make your life an awful lot easier. But now I think there's kind of more of a swing where, if you can, like, A, be popular on social media and stuff, and B, qualify for the off-season ones like you've done, like say Wadapalooza, Dubai, like those kind of ones, you can, it's more work. And okay, that's not fair. It's not more work, but it's more regular appearances, we'll say, than say Medeiros, who doesn't do any off-season competitions apart from like Rogue, and then goes to the games because he can afford to do that. He can afford to do that, take that time. So like, you'll obviously have to do more regular appearances, but there is now an opportunity for athletes, I think, and it's going to grow for athletes who maybe are on the bubble of going to the games, who now have an opportunity for the rest of the year to be like, well, I can do Madrid, I can do Dubai, I can do, and that's going to satisfy these sponsors, and that's going to make these other people pay attention, and that's going to grow my brand or whatever. Like, so I think, I think going to the games is obviously I really want to do that, but at least we're kind of getting to a stage now where it's not just the be all and end all, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Just the standard just gets higher and higher, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good that there's like these other high level competitions, which I'm glad I've been to. Like, me last year would probably have been like me going to Dubai, but then I managed to go.
Where you finished 12th there, was it?
No, I think it was 16th.
Oh, 12th in London last year.
Yeah, and then
16th.
12th. Yeah, then 10th in Madrid.
Yeah.
That was good. That was such a well-run competition.
That's the same crowd that's Loud and Live as well, isn't it? Same as Miami. Yeah, they know what they're doing. Cool. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I think that was it was great getting to talk to you.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you
me
for
on.
coming on. Yeah. Best of luck. Hopefully we'll see you in Berlin. Hopefully everything goes to plan.
Yes,
With your
thank
move
you.
and your new coaching and everything. And congrats on all your off season events.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I think you've got a pretty big year coming, regardless of games or not games. I think I think a lot of people are starting to sit up and pay attention. And there's been some great, just selfishly, some great Irish content. I saw you shared like Kieran Watts's video or picture or video or whatever of Miami and stuff. Like, he was over there. He's Irish. He was over there.
He's
And I
good,
think he
isn't
got some
he?
pictures. Yeah, he is very good, in fairness to him. But yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming on, and best of luck with
Yeah, thank
everything.
you.
And we'll stay in touch. All the best. Take it easy.
Yes, I'm sure I'll speak to you soon. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
All the best. Bye bye.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.